All right, all right. What's good, people? It's JC3 here. I was about to do my old intro. Baller of YouTube, the general. All y'all have been here for a long time can get that. But hey, you know what time it is. NBA Finals, Game 3, post-game live stream. I already see a bunch of y'all out in the chat. I've been responding to you. Thanks for coming out. This is Topic Tackle. Let's go. Let's get right into it. Lakers Heat Game 3 tonight. Going to have guests on. I'm going to post a Zoom link live, so whoever wants to jump into it can jump into it. We're going to discuss this Heat win to get back into this series. It was a do-or-die game for them tonight. I'm going to monitor the chat just so y'all know if this is the first live stream that you're watching me do. I am both giving a monologue and doing commentary here. I always give my monologue at the beginning, then we head to a Zoom. So I'm doing that, and I'm also watching this whole tech thing right here. All right, I got the whole setup going, so I'm doing two at once. So if anytime I seem preoccupied or whatever the case may be, just know I'm balancing multiple things here, making sure everything runs smoothly. Let me know in the chat, you know, the audio, visual, making sure that's all lined up. Everything should be good, but let me know if there's any issues, and I'll do my best to resolve it live here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this on up here. And there's a couple of things I wanted to start with in this monologue. Is that first of all, we all know this was Jimmy Butler's night. See, there's a tweet I put out right there tonight with all the fadeaway jumpers. I'm telling you, if you wear glasses and you were to double check those things, you clean them off, you may be seeing some MJ out there. You may be seeing some MJ out there. I mean, some of those fadeaways were really Jordan Kobe-esque. Every time he went to that, it seems like he hit on those mid-range jumpers, specifically Jimmy Butler tonight. Just a great night. 40-point triple-double. 40 points, 13 assists. He was dropping dimes. I will go over that in my monologue. 10 rebounds. This box score I'm looking at right here doesn't have his shooting efficiency, but he was deadly tonight. Accurate from the floor. Jimmy Butler, just a great performance to get Miami back in it. So a shout out to him. And then also as well, I wanted to go ahead and pop this up right here. Another tweet that I put out shortly after the game. I like the confidence of Jimmy Butler. You saw by the thumbnail of this video, he said they're in trouble. He mouthed they're in trouble to the Lakers after that one right there. And I said, hey, I like the confidence, but you better get ready for the memes. There was this compilation video that a Laker fan put together that surfaced on Twitter and was retweeted a lot after Jamal Murray's shimmy in Game 3. It was highlighting every moment that the player of the opposing team chose to speak out and trash talk the Lakers. It was the Damian Lillard dance in Game 1. Remember, he did the dance to the Blow the Whistle song. Russell Westbrook, he was trash talking in Game 1 after the Rockets beat the Lakers in that one. Jamal Murray shimmied. He was feeling himself in Game 3. You know where I'm going here. So Jimmy Butler, and let's not forget about Tyler Hero, also did the little snarl like that. That was basically that, because people say that I look like him, or well, he's younger than me, so he looks like me. So you saw that? That was him right there. All right, you saw it. So who knows? Who knows now what's going to be going on after that? LeBron James, he left the court early as well in this one. He just wasn't having it. And so he's been locked in. They could have just poked the bear. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, they could have just poked the bear. But they did what they had to do tonight to get the W. A couple of notables obviously going into this one. I'm going to give my monologue, and then we'll have a little bit of time. I will send a Zoom link, and I will get everybody in here that wants to appear live on screen in this video. If you don't want to be just in the chat, you can appear live on screen in the video. All right, so let's go over a couple of things right here. The Heat injuries was obviously a big notable that I had to write down again. Dragic was out tonight with the torn plantar fascia. He's probably going to be out for the rest of the series. Adebayo, he was out listed with a neck injury, and I thought it was something with his shoulder, but maybe that whole area was affected wherever it was. So he was out again tonight. He was hopeful to go. There was even some reports about him playing, but apparently he couldn't get out there. Myers Leonard, from the very beginning, I thought he brought the energy for the Heat. Couple of buckets beginning of the first half and the second half. But I want to shout out him for just being so vocal on the sidelines, man. No matter how many minutes that man plays, he makes his contribution to the Miami Heat. He's definitely an encouragement for his teammates. And, of course, Jimmy Buckets already went over the 40-point triple-double with 13 assists and 10 rebounds. He was dishing out man, dimes. He's literally dropping dimes, man. Hitting fadeaway jumpers. And I thought at the end of the game, too, Miami connected in this one. I'm going to skip down to this point right here. Butler, he was dropping dimes all night, especially in the fourth quarter. He found Olynyk. He found Tyler Hero for a couple of big threes down the stretch. And these are the exact threes, the big shots, just the backbreakers in this game, in this fourth quarter stretch that Miami hit in this one that they needed to connect on in the first two games. And they could have taken one of those games. They could have taken game two. They would have made big threes down the stretch like they did tonight. They would have taken game two because the three-point shot down the stretch is a backbreaker. And Jimmy Butler found his teammates and they connected. For the Lakers, LeBron James, got to give a shout out, man. Moved to second all-time on the playoffs for assists. He did that early in the game, passing John Stockton, so now he only trails the great Magic Johnson. Davis, he had foul trouble in the first half. He just had 5 points and 3 fouls in the first half with the foul trouble. The Heat, they jumped out to a fast start. The Lakers, they had 10 turnovers in the first quarter. That was the most in a quarter this season for them. They did not finish with the NBA Finals record of 26 turnovers, but I believe they had 19 or 20. Spoelstra, he was adamant that Duncan Robinson shoot the ball more, and I like the aggressiveness that Duncan Robinson came out responding to his coach's comments. He was shot hunting in the first quarter, regardless if he was making or not. He's still struggling in this series, but he is on the court for one sole reason, and it is defense, people. He's out there to hit shots. He's out there to at least, hey, if you're a shooter, you got to shoot your shot, all right? And he was out there doing that tonight. The Heat, they built a 13-point lead in that first half. AD was in foul trouble. The Lakers had 10 turnovers. But despite all that, LA did come back with three-pointers in the first quarter. They brought the score within 3, 26-23 at the end of the first. But Jimmy Butler, he was locked in the entire first half. He was looking for a shot. He finished with 19 in the first half, obviously, 40 for the game. And the Heat, to start the third, they went on an 8-0 run. They led 66-54. And, this wasn't a game where it was one of those situations where they were trailing by double digits the whole night. They, for the most part, had this game in their control. It was their game to lose. The Lakers, they did come back to retake the lead 91-89 at the 8:55-minute mark in the fourth quarter. But it was Jimmy Butler down the stretch finding his teammates for big threes. And there was a point in this one where I was like, you just got to give the... Just let me put that up again. Every time Jimmy Butler would pass the ball, somebody wouldn't make a shot. It was like, that was my reaction right there. That was my reaction. Because this man was looking like this tonight. You got to give the ball to him every single time down the stretch. And I know that's not the best basketball philosophy sometimes, where it's like you got to shoot every time. I know you've probably heard that before, but man, when you got this guy literally living up to his name tonight, Jimmy Buckets, you got to feed the man the rock. You just feed the man the rock. That's it. So you can avoid this look from your coach right here. I'm telling you, I told you this image would be in the rotation. Many a time. Many a time. Let me address some of the comments here before I send out a Zoom link to whoever wants to get on here. We got Gabriel Garcia. Butler and the greater than symbol LeBron. Well, guess what? Probably not overall, but tonight, I'll give you that one. And LeBron, man, when this man, LeBron, walks off the court early, he walked out the court early. The game wasn't even over. It was like 8 seconds and he already walking off the court. Yeah, he took it personal. So I got to see his comeback on that. Let's read a couple more of these. Mark Robertson Leonard for 12 minutes. Olynyk for 31. I want to see them use Leonard more. And I know you mentioned that last time out. I'll talk to you when you get on the live here. LeBron has no respect. Mark Robertson. Yeah, it is a sportsmanship, not a sportsmanship-friendly move, let's just say, to walk off the court like that. Dr. Philly Willie, Heat having the next man up mentality. Absolutely. And, for them to be doing this without, look, Dragic is a 20-plus point per game scorer. Bam Adebayo, you saw what he's done, his defensive presence. The Heat won Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, in large part due to his block at the end of the game on Jason Tatum. So it's not like this man is just, some second option or something for them. He's their starting center, power forward center, wherever you want to put him at. So they're probably running him as center because they like to run a smaller lineup with Jay Crowder at the power forward. But he's their starting center, all right? Props to Olynyk, man. He comes in and hits threes. But this guy, Bam Adebayo, he's got the full package, man. He drives. You saw what he did in Game 6 against Boston. Driving to the basket, pulling up from mid, hitting and ones on fadeaway jumpers. I mean, oh my goodness. You just don't lose that and be okay. But Miami tonight, Jimmy Butler having to step up 40. This guy, he's going to have to score even if Bam comes back. 30 to 40 every night. Maybe not get a triple-double, but he's going to have those offensive numbers because he's just, when you have a star player that can take over and score like that, that is exactly what you have to expect from him to do to win games because they are outmatched, right? They are outmatched. Mark Robertson, 15 people watching. Let's get Josh up to 15 likes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate more of y'all coming out to these, and I know that, some of you come, you watch a little bit, you come back later, whatever the case. Hey, stay right here because we are going to a Zoom call now where you can get on here live. And I'm going to send out the link because that's what I do. That's what I do. I'm all about spreading the love on here. I want to hear what you guys have to say live. So I'm going to start new meeting right now. And, of course, this is going to be delayed, so it might take a little while for you to join in on this. But I am going to go ahead and get this all set up right here. So let me see what we can get going here with this. So yeah, anytime, this would be a perfect time to drop anything you want in the chat because I am working on getting out this invite right here. So let me go ahead and copy that link and I'll go ahead, close that. Yep, you see I'm running this whole operation here. Philly Willie liking Kendrick Nunn's energy off the bench, playing hard-nosed defense as well. Absolutely. Give the man his credit. Give the man his credit. I appreciate the Kendrick Nunn shout-out. All right, Zoom link is live in the chat. I'll leave that up there for a few minutes, whoever wants to join that. And I'm going to specifically check out, because Philly Willie said that. Great name, by the way. Kendrick Nunn, man. You don't see it in his stats, but 4 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. And defensively, the stops and the effort he puts in, hey, sometimes it's not about what shows up on the stat sheet, it's about the effort. We all know about that. All right, so let me go ahead and get this going here. All right, should have Mark. Did I get Mark there? What's up? All right, let me go ahead and get your audio. Absolutely. All right, your audio should be live now, and I'll put up the video shortly. Let me go ahead and I got to send out a link right here. Oh, yeah, you sent me this great image as well, this tweet from SportsCenter.
Yes, sir.
I'll go ahead. I'll read it off. So Mark sent over Jimmy Butler is now 3rd player in finals history to post a 40-point triple-double. So LeBron and Jerry West are the others. He's the 3rd player since 1980 to score 40-plus points without taking a 3. Oh, I didn't recognize that. That's good in the finals. The Shaq and Kareem are the others. He led the Heat to 2nd biggest NBA Finals upset in past 30 seasons. Yeah, what was the over-under on this? It was like Lakers by 10 or something like that. The line was crazy. Yeah, so definitely that's something that is very impressive. So you're just on audio right now. Like I said, I'll get the video going soon, but besides the Jimmy Butler thing, or maybe you want to comment more on that, go ahead, man, because I'm running a couple of other tech things here, so you have the floor.
I like that Jimmy Butler put this team on his back, but yeah, I know that Kenny Olynyk got in there with Jimmy to get some good scores off assists, but I'm just confused. I'm like, well, Myles Leonard went 3 of 3. He had only 2 fouls. Like, why?
Yeah. Why don't they give him more minutes?
Like, you purposely chose him over Olynyk to start. So why? Like, Myles Leonard.
Possibly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I think possibly with him down the stretch, though, they're looking for somebody who can spot up and hit threes. And obviously, he's not going to be the guy that you go to for that, you know?
Right. But is Olynyk that guy?
Olynyk was hitting some threes. I mean, he's not like, I wouldn't call him a sniper from down there, but he did hit a couple down the stretch. And those were the shots that they need him to connect on. They got him in there playing Leonard's minutes. He was going to have Leonard's minutes at the end of the game.
25 assists, 12 turnovers, 8 steals, 3 blocks. Some pretty good numbers. I'm looking over the stat line as well.
Yeah.
But you notice, look who didn't have a good game, and look what team didn't win. Just saying.
Yep, absolutely. You're making the case with Anthony Davis for Finals MVP, and tonight, yeah, like you said, great point.
LeBron?
He was in foul trouble, but he had just 15 tonight, and only 5 boards as well.
He was in foul trouble, but he still played 32 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, 80 with 5 turnovers. LeBron had an even 8 assists to 8 turnovers. What?
That's tough.
Ouch.
The Lakers really struggled tonight on the turnovers. Like I said, in the first quarter, they had 10 in the first quarter.
I mean, I guess that's what happens when your team is basically everybody else's spot-up shooters, and LeBron and AD are the number 1 guys.
Trying to make it all happen. Yeah, no doubt.
It's kind of how, I mean, not all the teams do it that way, but that's kind of how it is nowadays with teams. It's like you get 2 main guys, they're basically your top 2 guys, and then everybody else is their help. And then you have like teams like Portland, who's got CJ, Lillard, Nurkic, Whiteside, right, Collins, like all these players that can all be their big benefactors. Interesting. And I know you pulled up that talking thing. It's really funny. Just going back to something that happened when someone had talked before. That's at least the second time that's happened to Russell Westbrook this season. Was it this season or last season? No, it was this season. So when the Kings played the Rockets at Houston, Westbrook said like bye or something, like was doing the waving hands thing.
Yep.
And then like 2 minutes later, Bielitsa hit the 30-foot buzzer beater 3 to give the Kings the win. I was like, yikes, Westbrook.
Right. No, the trash talk, man, unless you can back it up, seems to come and hurt you. Looks like we got Philip. I'm guessing this is Philly Willie. He's in here now. I got your audio, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. How we doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good to see you out here. First time you're making an appearance live in here. Love to see you out here in the Zoom. So
yeah, I've been subbed to your channel for a while now. Baller YouTube, the general. Really respecting the grind. Loving the whole NBA YouTube community as a whole. Fell in love with it like 5 years ago with like Mike Korzemba and Nick Smith, and just went downhill from there to like Dom 2K, V Souls, and the rest. And I eventually found you, which I'm so happy that I did.
Dude, great. Yeah, that's a great to hear story, because sometimes I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I know those guys have bigger followings at times, and I feel like at times I don't know like where I fall within the NBA YouTube community. I'm kind of view it like I'm doing my own thing at times, but at the same time, just trying to bring the best content to all y'all. So I'm glad that you came across my videos. Just to pick your brain for a second, how did you end up finding? Was it a suggested video of mine on one of theirs, or how did you end up finding my content?
Yeah, I believe it was a Michael Jordan comparison with LeBron James. It was in the suggested, and from there I was thinking to myself, listening to you, watching that, I was enjoying your content, and I just subbed after that.
That's great. Love to hear it. Well, it's great to have you on here, man. And the cool thing about this community is I want to make sure that I am involving you guys as much as possible, so you can appear live in videos, and it's not just like it's not just all me on here, man. I want to get you guys in here. So definitely give your take on tonight's game, whatever you want to talk about here. Go ahead, man.
The Heat's energy, man. Looking at the way all their players played, from Jimmy Butler, who led the charge, obviously, all the way down to the likes of like Kendrick Nunn, even Solomon Hill, man. Like, I was honestly surprised to see like this guy that pretty much never played, just show up, bring a little bit of energy, and hitting that 1-3 towards the end of, I think it was the third quarter. Could be mistaken, third or second quarter. And I've noticed that the Heat changed up a little bit of their defense. They were really honing in on making other people beat them besides LeBron James and Rajon Rondo, like the two main primary ball handlers and playmakers for the Lakers. They were pretty much like trying to stop them from making plays, and they were able to contain Anthony Davis. So they were not only able to like stop the two main like playmakers, ball handlers, they were able to stop their top scorer. So like props to the Heat, man. They really very A game tonight.
Yeah, just one word that constantly comes up for them is just scrappy and fighters, man. They get out there, they scrap, they fight, they don't give up. Obviously, on paper, they have they're outmatched, but they don't care. And Jimmy Butler is a perfect leader for that team because he's the last one who's going to care about what a stat sheet says, or that's even what he said after the game. I don't care I got a triple-double. I just care if we won. And he's not going to care about the matchups on paper. But you make some great points, Philip, about their defense. I think I heard it was either Mark Jackson or Jeff Van Gundy at a point tonight talking about how when the Lakers got switches of like Duncan Robinson or Hero on LeBron, the Heat were able to switch back whoever was the primary defender quicker this time. And I don't know, I wasn't paying attention specifically to this, but I don't know if they were in the zone more tonight as opposed to the man. But either way, what they did, like you said, containing the primary ball handlers of the Lakers, who, if they're not scoring, they're really kickstarting that offense. LeBron, Rondo, they did a good job containing him tonight, and of course Anthony Davis. I mean, they kept this guy who could very well be a Finals MVP candidate. And he's been averaging in the 30s. They kept him below 20 points, so that is huge for them. And then when they got one of their own guys scoring 40, well, contribute to wins. So yeah, great points there. Defensively, Heat were a lot better. Obviously, Jimmy had a great performance. But if there's one guy tonight, you mentioned Philip Solomon Hill, some guy who's able to come in and make an impact. But Mark, I want to ask you, if there was any one player tonight that you were surprised by, I know you might go Myers Leonard, but from the Heat that stepped up and you thought provided them the needed boost to overcome in this one.
I'm gonna just go off what I see in the stat line because I unfortunately didn't get to watch again. I don't have the ability to watch, but let's just see. So even though he didn't shoot the greatest at all, but I actually liked how Jay Crowder got up there and tried to get a lot of rebounds to go with his 12 points. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and Philip.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Philip, you have an X factor from tonight?
I'm going to say Myers Leonard, or Myers Leonard to Kelly Olynyk specifically. That specific center rotation that the Heat employed in place of Bam Adebayo, and I believe it was Kelly Olynyk right after, like continuing to play their Heat style. Myers Leonard, obviously he was a regular starter in the rotation during the regular season. However, once the playoffs hit, he was slowly phased out in favor of Jay Crowder. His switchability on defense and toughness on top of, he adds that like Myers Leonard factor of 3-point shooting. He took it really well, honestly, and the fact that he's able to just come back in and really play that starter position so that the rotation doesn't get as tossed up. I think that's a huge factor in like their next man up mentality. Something I've like personally witnessed with like the Warriors back then. They were
right,
but all their players knew their role in the system and they played it to perfection.
Yeah. Well, to further comment on that, man, I have the stat sheet up, for everybody viewing the stream live, and Myers Leonard was a plus 13. And I always think, plus minus is an interesting thing to look at because in 13 minutes he was plus 13. So when he was on the court, they were not, they weren't playing even. They weren't getting outscored. He contributed those points to them. Jay Crowder overall, another player you mentioned, he was a plus 21. Jimmy Butler was plus 20, and Duncan Robinson was a plus 27. So those are positive minutes in which they contributed mightily to their team. Crowder tonight, talking about his ability to stretch the floor. He had 2 threes on the night, 12 points, and talking about Olenek as well, man. The threes down the stretch, he was 3 of 5 from downtown for 17 points. And he had a good game last game too. And so just their shots hitting it down the stretch were impressive. Another guy that I always like to mention, Tyler Hero, just did the video on him. I'm just going to keep blowing up the fact that, the dude looks like me, so I'm going to talk about him. But, he has 17 tonight. He was a little rough early on. He was 6 for 18 from the floor, so not his most efficient night. But still was able to rebound at the end of that game and get a couple more shots to fall for him. And, of course, the and one layup or whatever it was at the end of the game and the mean mug. But anyway, so I'll ask you going forward, early on prediction, if you had to make one for Game 4 following the events of this one and everything that happened at the end of that game, Mark, what would you say you're leaning toward? Do you think the Heat tie this series? Do you think LeBron comes out extra motivated considering all the comments made at the end of this one?
So I have other factors where I don't personally like LeBron, but just based off of what he did at the end of the game today, I really hope the Heat come out and tie it up, because it's a finals. It's a finals. He does not need to be that petty. I'm sorry, but
I think in this case, regardless of if you like him or not, we want to see a competitive series, right? Now, we know a 3-1 is not insurmountable to come back from. The Nuggets did it twice this postseason. But, we want to see, you're already seeing, if you're on Twitter or wherever you are, you're already seeing, the energy is spiked back up for this series. We talk about, the ratings have been down. Reports have come out about that. People have been saying this is boring. All of a sudden, whoa, the Heat actually got a game when we were basically writing them off. And now this is all of a sudden an exciting series again. So if the Heat tie it, it'll definitely draw more attention. Tonight, it was competing with Sunday Night Football. We got to think about the new type of time of year that this league is playing in now, considering the circumstances. But anyway, a bit of a ramble there, but still, I think in the best interest of competitiveness, man, a tied series would be good. I'm not saying that's going to happen, because I want to hear what Philip has to say first about next game. If you had to make a prediction, Philip, who would you pick?
For the next game, I think it'll be a lot closer in comparison to what is it, the blowouts from the first 2 games. But I'm still gonna have the Lakers. LeBron's gonna have that energy coming back. I feel like he's probably just gonna have that vengeance. They're really gonna review how the Heat played this really great defense to contain their main playmakers, ball handlers, and handle, their top scorer, Anthony Davis, without the Heat's 2 out of 3 best players without Bam Adebayo, their main defensive anchor too. So if Bam comes back, that could be a huge X factor that might carry the Heat over, but I've got the Lakers winning by 5 to 10 points. Close game though. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with you on the close game there. We also have to consider this. It took a 40-point triple-double from Jimmy Butler for the Heat to win by 11. Now, you got to think Bam is going to shoulder some of that load. Go ahead.
It also took 13 turnovers by 2 of the best players in the league. Yeah.
Right, and only a 15-point outing for Davis, and a record turnover quarter the first quarter. And yeah, you said combined with those guys, all the turnovers. So a lot of stuff had to go the way of Miami tonight, and they capitalized on it. They had the game for them to lose down the stretch, and they made sure to cap it off. But at the same time, we can make the argument last game. It wasn't the greatest game for Miami. Anthony Davis had a historic night, and I believe it was only a 10-point win for LA. So I think, maybe in just the era of hot takes that we live in, people wanted to write off Miami kind of right away. But the series was close regardless of like what you thought of how the play was. The game, besides game one, like last game was close. Miami had a chance to come back at the end of that one, and then this game was close. And just you see the tremendous effort on both sides to get it to the situation of where it's only a 10-point win from either of the teams. Anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll get around to wrapping this one up. But I will just go ahead and thank you guys for being on here. And I believe Tuesday is going to be game 4. So we're definitely going to be back here right after the game. That one is a later tip, I think at 9 Eastern. Hold up, it looks like we got one more guy coming in here, so I will go ahead and let him in. Looks like Ryan is connecting to audio. He came in just in time because I was just about to go ahead and get on out of here. But Ryan, looks like you're in here. You just made it just on time, man. How we doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. So just introduce yourself to the people real quick, man. It's your first time live here.
My name's Ryan, and I watch basketball.
Love it. Love the game.
Sick.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you want to give your quick take on this series and also how you're associated with my channel here?
I've been subscribed for like 2-3 years now. I remember you live streaming the 2017 and 18 finals, and I think that the Lakers gonna win in 6, and I think this is just a lucky. What's the word? They got lucky, and they're really gonna need Bam and Dragic next game for them to have a chance winning this chip. Because if Dragic and Bam don't play, I think Lakers in 5.
Okay, I hear it. So first of all, thanks for being such a long-time viewer of the channel. Appreciate all the support. Being here, 2018 live streams, love it. This is a yearly tradition. But the Dragic thing, so he's probably going to be out for the whole series. So I'll counter with you think if they just get Bam back, would you still give him a chance to win the series with just Bam, no Dragic?
I don't think Bam can hold AD. He can stop him here and there, but I think, in my opinion, no one can stop AD in the game. Not even, at least, not even Kawhi. If Kawhi is playing against Anthony Davis, he wouldn't even stop AD. So I guess he would put some pressure on AD, but he wouldn't stop him. At least that's a little help for Miami.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, a Kawhi AD would be a serious mismatch with size. Kawhi's, I mean, I feel like Kawhi could guard an AD type to an extent, but definitely not stop him. Like you said. But anyway, yeah, I feel like Mark, a lot of people are gonna look at this game and say, and I don't want to overreact to it either. And still pick the Lakers in either 5 or 6. Yeah.
So, since I need to watch, who was the main guard on AD for the game?
So AD tonight, like I said, I don't know if they were switching between zone and man, but I think they're trying to throw the bigger bodies on him tonight, man. Like Leonard, they put Olynyk on him, because I don't think they want that Crowder matchup. I don't think anybody's looking for that. So basically, any of the Miami's bigs and anybody else that ends up getting switched on to him. But,
I think if they get Bam back, they should have Bam play power forward, and then put.
So you would run.
So you're saying I move Crowder to the bench. I run Bam at power forward, and I still run Leonard at center. Because if Bam go Twin Towers, if Bam can't take AD, then put Bam on either who's there? I guess you could either put him on Dwight or maybe even put him on LeBron.
Yeah, or Morris.
Yeah.
Morris is another one in there. Yeah, I'll ask. We'll ask the parting question here to Philip. So you were commenting, Philip, earlier on Jay Crowder and his impact. But what do you think of Mark's idea of kind of matching the Lakers' tactic, the scheme of putting two bigs in there?
I'm not sure, honestly. So they're starting Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis, right? And yeah, that's a twin tower that they're throwing out there. That being said, the impact of having a spaced floor, a lot of shooting, I think it just really outweighs the big bodies, especially with Dwight Howard, who can't shoot. Good point, though, is that Myers Leonard can shoot the three ball, and that's going to be really important if Bam does end up coming back and you still want to start off with, the high energy of Myers Leonard, and he could still stroke the three ball and still keep his same rotational minutes and just slowly ease back Bam into like that, I guess, center by committee in this case, rotation for the Heat right after. That's how I would approach it, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, the ability to stretch the floor, you got to have guys, and now in this day and age, bigs out there who can hit it. Hey, we all kind of Mark and I put up a collective smile here for a second because we saw Dennis come in, man. Dennis, go ahead and unmute your mic if you're hearing all this right now. You came in, so you need to understand what Dennis is going through for this live stream. He's wiping his face. He looks tired because guess what? Where he is, it's like 6 a.m. over there, and the man still made it out, bro. Bro, what's going on, man?
Man, the game was pretty early for me. Man, actually, what happened was I saw the first and second and third quarter. Then I saw like Jimmy Butler dominating. I just passed out again.
You just turned that thing off.
Oh, dude. Oh my gosh.
Man, he did something that I never. Okay, I predicted it. Like in the last live stream, I said, okay, this guy, he had to drop like 40, put a monster stat line, which he did. Actually, I think he saw the live stream. Then he got motivated to beat the Lakers.
Okay, Dennis gassing him up.
So,
you did this, bro. You did this.
Okay, so I saw. Okay, the game was like, okay, in where I am it was like 2:30 a.m. It was 2:30 a.m. So
yes,
damn, it was pretty early. So I tried staying up for the game. My eyes just couldn't let me. So I just woke up right now with the notification. I just saw, my phone had an alarm. So when I woke up, I saw the alarm. It was like 6. I was like, oh man, I missed the fourth quarter. But I'm gonna go back and see the highlights. But just
okay. So
but
I don't want me to cut you off.
Checking the highlights through Instagram. So
yeah, okay. Because I don't know how much time Zoom is gonna let us go here. I wanted to just ask you this really quick. And I know this is something, because we follow each other on Twitter, and I'm going to put it up on the live stream here. This is something that, we've gone back and forth on. Jimmy Butler at the end of this game, I don't know if you've heard it yet, but he mouthed after making a shot or something, he mouthed, "They're in trouble," talking about the Lakers, okay? And then Tyler Hero mean mugged the camera after getting an and one. So I put out a tweet, I said, like the confidence, but you got to get ready for the memes. You remember Damian Lillard after game one, the dance he did, Russell Westbrook, the trash talk, Jamal Murray, the shimmy, and then the Lakers won every game from here on out. So just based on that simple fact, I know it's leaving out a lot of other factors, but do you think that ignites a fire under LeBron and they close this thing out in 5? What do you think?
Most definitely. Actually, in game 4, they're going to blow them out. You see,
okay.
They're gonna they're gonna win in let me just be modest. The Lakers are gonna blow the Heat with like 30. AD is gonna get so angry, he's gonna drop even like 40 and 15. These guys are making a big mistake. You need poke and pride at the bar, and it's an NBA Finals series.
Okay.
You're gonna get hurt.
Mark is raising his hand. Yes, I'll call on you.
Oh, so Dennis, I know you didn't see the fourth quarter, but do you know what happened at the end of the game?
I haven't got to see, but I'm gonna look at it at the moment.
Okay, so with 10 seconds left, LeBron straight up walked off the court.
What? He's mad, you know.
You think that's okay, though? He's in a finals.
Okay, look. Okay, look. What I know is this. You saw like in game one with the Portland Trailblazers in the game one first round. You saw like when they lost, he was like, okay. I think it's that one. He nodded. He was like, okay, cool. So that was like his way of saying, yo, next game, I'm gonna beat you up. For real, you're gonna feel the same pain I felt tonight.
But you think it's appropriate? You think that was appropriate?
Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate because you have to be there for your teammates, even if you take the L. But well, I don't know how the man felt. Maybe he wanted to sweep. We don't know how he felt at the moment, but the next game he's gonna show up big, so that's what we're waiting for.
Okay. I think what Mark is getting at is he just doesn't like the sportsmanship of the move. I'm gonna go Phillip, because we want to get you back in here, man. LeBron walking off the court with 8 seconds. Should we make a big deal of that as a sportsmanship thing, or should we just say he's mad as a competitor? Phillip, what do you think?
Okay. Well, first of all, the GOAT Jared Dudley was able to check in because LeBron James did that. So.
Yes, thank you, because we had Mark talked about J.R. Smith last live stream, and now you Jared Dudley.
Yeah,
okay, thank you, Phillip. Go ahead.
Played like what, 4 minutes towards the end of a quarter, just like Solomon Hill. That
like
but
5
going
minutes.
back, yeah, but going back to the whole LeBron James, in the one side, yes. Sportsmanship, probably should have stuck it out till the end, with his team, with his family, the Laker family. On the other side, it could be that, that Mamba mentality is finally kicking in. He's really raring to go. Already focused on the next steps, going to get, treatment, icing down, stretching it out, and ready to look at the film, review, really think about game plan for the next game. Sort of like
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, sort of like how. Well, I'm medicine, so like medical school, masters, you gotta really like prioritize your time. If he knows this is a loss, move on to the next one. Immediately start working towards the next step in getting that, that elusive shit, that fourth ring.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hey, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. You know your stuff. I'd consider that. I'm seeing a lot of disagreement from Mark in my top left corner over here, man. I think Mark thinks he could have lasted another 8 seconds on that court, but it could be a part of being locked in.
I can see the other side of that being the argument. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I understand priority of time. My problem is this champion, this superstar, is the face of their league. Has been getting tons of from outside. Has been getting tons of like criticism, and now he pulls another, what will be looked at as an unsportsmanlike situation. Of course, there'll be plenty of people that will see your side of it, but as someone that, and Josh might have a different view because he actually played the game, but as someone that managed college teams for 3 seasons, the coach would be PO'd if their player did that. And I know, of course, Frank Vogel doesn't have control of LeBron. He's just a figurehead, pretty much. But as someone that is really interested in the game being professional and being courtesy to the other team, being like, hey, you guys won this one. I'll come out and look to beat you guys the next one. But, like, just like, LeBron, be chill. Like, you're already – and with his past, like, he's known as being one of the most hated players in the game just for simply of leaving teams for certain reasons. And it's just like, why this? Like, are you that – like, it's good to be super competitive, but you can wait. You can wait, not just walk off the court. Like, it just seems super immature.
Yeah, I hear both sides, and this could be something back and forth thing that we could go on for many minutes, hours on this thing. I see both sides, but there's one thing, and I'm going to finish with Dennis, just kind of getting his final thoughts on this and just kind of the series as a whole before Zoom cuts us off. But the one thing that I do want to say is that LeBron James never makes a move that he's not entirely conscious of what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times. He's not going to be surprised when somebody asks him about this. Every move is calculated. He knows that there's 8 seconds on the clock and he's walking off the court for a reason, to make a statement, whether you like it or not, and to motivate himself, to get people talking about it, so maybe people criticize him over it and it makes him more motivated. Who knows? Regardless of what we think about it, he knows what he's doing. He makes decisions. He's very conscious of it. And he's obviously looking to get some type of response, or maybe have this get him motivated in a certain way because of it, or fire up his teammates and say, look, I'm not even putting up with this if you guys don't come out here and do XXX, whatever, next game, etc. Basically what I'm saying. All right, so Dennis, before Zoom cuts us off here, I'm going to go ahead. I'll ask you to unmute here and go ahead. Just any final thoughts, whether it be, you could talk about that, about LeBron, what you thought about the move, or you could talk about what you think is going to happen for the rest of the series. I think you touched on that earlier, but anything you want to talk about to close us out here.
Okay, I feel like the success for the Lakers solely lies on LeBron and AD putting the teams on the back, putting the whole team on his back and also AD's back. So when the other guys don't show up, maybe it deflates him, because he'll be like, okay, I'm out here busting my tail off so that I can get this team to the win. If I give someone like Danny Green, he breaks a 3. If I give KCP, he breaks a 3. If I give Kyle Kuzma, he does that that ugly fadeaway, he breaks again. I mean, it really hurts him, because the only guy he can really rely on is AD, because that thing really upset him. Maybe that's the reason why he walked out. He was like, you guys, I try to make the great plays, but y'all don't show up the same. So this L is for you. Let me just leave you in the court. Let me just walk away. And the hard way, because if you're not going to show up, I'm not going to be part of this, because I've tried everything. So LeBron is be like, I've tried everything to get this team to a win. Then you guys are just not showing up the way I want you to. So, man, that's the situation.
Yeah, could be a frustration. And hey, look, the Heat. There is no question that while Jimmy Butler, I thought it was necessary that he stepped up and he did exactly what he did tonight. They do it by committee, right? Mm-hmm. He got 13 assists. He's got adamant help on that team. I'd argue the Lakers have a better team simply because of LeBron and AD, but the supporting cast right now of LA, I'd say maybe with the exception of Rondo, is getting outplayed, and that could cause frustration for LeBron. He was completely locked in. He's ready to win, but other guys aren't coming up for him. And with Danny Green too, like, I know, real quick, I'm going to close on this. I know a lot of people very critical, especially on Twitter. Man, that guy Danny Green should never log into Twitter. Not right now.
Yeah,
not ever.
He should.
Stay off.
Stay off
social
either.
Media.
Yep.
All those guys, KCP, Danny Green, Kuzma, just don't even log in there.
Hey, we're petitioning,
but the thing is,
for Kuzma to not get a ring, apparently.
Yep, great point bringing that up. I mean, shoot, you see how cutthroat some of those fans are, or supposed fans, whoever they are. But the thing is, hey, as someone who used to play, like Mark said, shooting streaks are real and they could last a long time. Like, if we can go back and remember to like the mid 2000s or close to the end of the decade, Ray Allen went through some rough streaks. Like he had series like where he wasn't making much of anything, and it lasted games and games and games, and eventually he broke out of it. So Danny Green, while he's going to get some criticism, and part of it is rightly deserved, you know, they brought him there, they paid him a lot of money to make shots, and he's not making shots. But this is a guy who has made a ton of threes as a very young player in the finals, in the 2014 finals for the Spurs. This is a guy who's proved he can get it done on the big stage. He's just going through a rough time right now. So I think the most important thing for him is just like get it out of his head, get in the gym on these off days, continue to put up shots, and just, man, try to block it all out. But social media is his #1 enemy right now, and he's just got to stay away from it. But for real, I wish we could continue the conversation further, but we'll definitely do it on Tuesday. Because of Zoom possibly cutting us out here, I'll go ahead and say goodbye to you guys. I want to thank Mark, Philip, Dennis, everybody else who came out here to Zoom. I'll go ahead and end this now and end the stream. Thank you guys so much. See you on Tuesday for Game 4.
This is my dude.
Yeah.
This is Topic Tackle. Remember to, if you weren't able to get to live chat, leave your feedback, comments down below, and we'll be back with more Topic Tackle live streams and videos this week coming soon. Stay solid, people.